how to recover when you are a victim of emotional dumping. Last week's video that we dropped on our Motivation Mondays was about emotional dumping. It was the 4 signs to look for to know if you are the victim of emotional dumping. So I'm going to go over them really, really quickly, but if you really want to dive into it, you're going to want to pause this, go back, find that video, and then come back here and watch. So I will go over those 4 signs of emotional dumping just really briefly, but then we're going to get into what to do, how to sustain the relationship and end being a victim of this, how to shift the tide so that you are not the victim of just receiving negativity all the time. Before we do that, will you check to see if you're a subscriber here? If not, click that subscribe button, click the little bell, and while you're clicking, go ahead and click a thumbs up so I know that you like this topic. We'll do more of them when you like them, and I will see you again in a second.
GILD Coaching. More success, less stress.
Emotional dumping is a big problem, and if you're like me or an empath, you might be the victim of it more often than you'd like. So in our last video that we dropped last Monday, we went over the 4 signs of emotional dumping, and very, very quickly, if you're taking notes, go ahead and get out a pen, pencil, something to write with, or you can open up the comment section here and use that as your digital notepad. The 4 signs quickly are: there's no space for you in the conversation. People are venting on you without checking in to see how you're doing first, see if it that you have energy for that in your day. They're repeating issues but not wanting solutions. They're just wanting to just complain and jaw on about it, and that the conversations are always one way. There's a lack of interest in what's going on in your life. There's a lack of concern for what's going on in your life. So that's the brief version of four signs of emotional dumping. So what to do when your friend does this? And I say friend like that. This may be someone who's your friend. It may be someone who you decide to release. And I've done both with people like this. So one who I decided to release, she's the mother of a little girl my daughter was friends with in her early childhood, learning in 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, right around there. And, you know, the moms and we all became friends together. And this one person I got to be pretty good friends with, but then I started to see this emotional dumping pattern. She was having a lot of problems in her marriage. She even handed me her diary one day and was like, read this so you'll know everything. And I mean, it was just all negative, and she didn't want any solutions. She just wanted it to stop. She wanted a magic wand to make it all stop, but she didn't want to put any work in for it. There was never any space for anything about even our daughters, even any conversation about them. It was just always all about her marital problems, no solutions. She never checked in to see how I was doing. It was always a one-way conversation, and I was just, I was exhausted. Our little girls had ended up going to different schools, so it offered me the opportunity to just kind of distance there. So I chose to distance and release that relationship because it had gone on for years and I was just done. I didn't feel like the relationship had anything in it for me or my family that would benefit us or help us grow and develop. So I chose to release that one. There's another one. Recently, I did have my trust broken by someone who had promised confidentiality with something, and she ended up sharing it in a way that actually really hurt my family. But this is a really sweet person. That's not her heart of intent. And, you know, she had done a fair amount of emotional dumping on me and then broke my trust there, which we did a video a couple weeks ago on how to rebuild trust. And I've definitely employed those tactics with this relationship. But, you know, I did choose to distance for a little while. But then I followed what I'm about to tell you, these 4 steps, and our relationship is healing and is moving forward. Just know that it can heal, you can move forward, but you have to be okay with it moving forward slowly, because that is the safe way to move forward when trust has been lost. And when someone has been emotional dumping on you, that is an action that can lose trust. Okay, so what to do when your friend does this? First, explain in a loving way. Make sure that your statements start with I feel I would like to discuss something with you. I feel, you take ownership for all the feelings and work to not use the word you. So here's the difference in how that sounds. let's just say the person's name is Susan. Susan, I would really love to discuss something with you that's been on my mind and has been bothering me a little bit, and I just want to make sure that everything between us is okay. Okay, so that would be one way to intro it with this fictitious friend named Susan. If your name's Susan, sorry, I literally just, it's my mother-in-law's name. I just pulled it out of my brain. So the other way to say it would be, Susan, you always do this to me. You're not here for me. You're always calling me, and there's never really any space for me to share, and you make me feel really bad when you do this. Do you hear the difference in those two things? I'm getting to the same place, but the first communication will definitely help to open the flexibility mindset and Susan's openness to receive what it is that I want to hand to her. Number 2, ask if you can go first. Say, hey, we usually focus a lot on, things that are in the lives of your family, and I'm really needing you today, so can I go first in the conversation? Can I tell you what's on my mind before you share today? Just ask if you can flip it. If you do that and this person is just a serial emotional dumper, they might take off after that, and then you'll know it wasn't really a friendship that was going to serve you in the long run anyway. Just a warning that when you use that second step of asking if you can just simply go first, and they could take off. But that's okay. It's not a loss for you. It's freeing. It's opening your space up for a relationship that will serve you. Number 3, you've got to have some boundaries in place. If they keep their old patterns, make yourself less available. I told you in both instances, the friendship that I chose to release and the friendship that I chose to invest in, I distanced myself a little bit. What does that mean? I made myself slightly less available. I didn't force myself to answer the phone every time that it rang. I didn't force myself to immediately respond to every text message or anything like that. I focused on other things. And while letting the people know, hey, yes, I do care about you, I'm focusing on these things, and I just set up better boundaries so that the opportunity for their emotional dump truck to back up and then just tip everything on me was shorter, fewer and farther between. And number 4, like I just said, focus elsewhere. Feed yourself through self-care. We have a video that recently posted about how to go about self-care. So you can find that on our channel. I think that there's probably a little link to it up on the video right now if you look. But do that, focus on your self-care, focus elsewhere. If this isn't serving you, you need to find something that is, because you can't serve from an empty cup. You can't go out there and be who you need to be in this beautiful world that we share together without focusing on you, especially not with emotional dumpers who are draining all of your energy. Those are my 4 steps for how to recover from emotional dumping. If this has been of help to you, give me a thumbs up, make sure you're a subscriber, and click that bell so you know the next time we drop a video to help you live a happier life with lower stress and more success.